Now to the video for part 3 of the Letitia's Garden Cal. This one actually comes in two options. It's basically the same pattern, but you do have an option. I don't know if you can see here, we've got this first version here. It's just using the two colours throughout. And if you wanted to try, which is a little bit different, there is also an option to add just a few rows of some tapestry crochet in there, which will just give you this little sort of contrast at the beginning and the end. Now there's a separate video for that. I'm actually now this video here is just going to be for this first version, which is just the two colours. So the standard mosaic version, there's this video. If you would like to have a go at the tapestry and you want to know how to do that, then there's a separate video for that. Okay, so before we start, make sure that, as we're now doing overlay mosaic again, make sure that you're using your larger hook. So for me that's my 4mm hook, and make sure also you've got your scissors on standby because we will be cutting the yarn at the end of every row. So we start with a nice easy row. For this part we're just going to be using our main colour and CC1 or XX1, so it's all just the same. As say, if you wanted to do the tapestry one, do have a look at the other video. So we're going to start with a slip knot on our hook. And then, as always, for every single row of the curl, we start with a standing double crochet and then another one for the edge stitch. Now we're doing overlay, so generally speaking along the rows you would just be working into the back loops. But as we've now followed a inset mosaic part and we used the last row was actually done on the wrong side, if I work, I don't know if you can see, if I work into the back loop there, it's kind of lower down, so it won't look quite right. So what we're actually going to do for this very first row, we're just going to work standard double crochets all the way along. So really easy, just a standard double crochet through both loops right up until the end. So do that, fasten off at the end, and I'll see you ready to start row 2. Okay, so there's row 1, like I say, nice straightforward row of double crochets. So we're now picking up our main colour, and as always starting with a slip knot on our hook, and it's another nice easy row. So we just, in this first stitch, we've got, as always, our standing double crochet and then another double crochet, so both of those are through both loops. And now we're just going to actually now carry along the row and just work into the back loop. So it's a back loop double crochet all the way along. So nice and straightforward. Okay, so just carry on along working your back loop, your double crochets into the back loops only, right up until you get to the last 2 stitches, where as always they will be standard double crochets through both loops. Okay, and I will see you when we're ready to start row 3. Okay, so here I am right at the end of row 2. So I'm just gonna, just a little reminder, back loop double crochet in that last stitch there, and these last 2, make sure you just go through both loops. It just sort of firms up the edge a little bit, neatens that up, and cut that off and pull it through the loop. Okay, so start row 3. Of course, need our slip knot on the hook, then standing double crochet and another ordinary double crochet through both loops. And now we're going to start building our pattern. So before the main repeat starts, so if you're looking at the written instructions, this is before the first little asterisk, we do immediately a front loop treble, so working into that front loop from 2 rows below. And now we start the main repeat with another one. So there we go, you've got your front loop treble there, so that's starting to build a pattern. So now we've got 9 double crochets, and remember they all go into just the back loop. So 2, 3, 4, get through all the loops, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Always worth just double checking that you didn't miscount there. So we have got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 stitches. Perfect. So, and again, if you're struggling to see where, because we're now going to do 2 front loop trebles again at the end of this repeat. If you're struggling to see exactly where to put them, if you just count across, so we're going to need 9 missed front loops here. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's this loop we've got to work into. Okay. And if you look at it like that, you'll see it's all nice and straight. So another one of those, and that finishes our first repeat. So we start the new repeat as we did just back there with another front loop treble. So you've got a little run of 3 front loop trebles, and then we're going to make sure we miss the 1, 2, 3 stitches behind, and it's 9 double crochets. 2. Oh dear, can't crochet today. 1, 2, 3. So remember, double crochets all in the back loops. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just make sure I didn't lose count somewhere there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. It may seem a little bit sort of hysterical to keep counting like that, but honestly it's worth it in the long run. It's so easy to kind of hypnotize yourself and lose count. And if you've done a really wide blanket, the last thing you want to do is realize that you made a mistake right at the beginning and have to pull it all back. So keep counting and you shouldn't have any problems. Okay, so we're going to end this second repeat there with our final 2 front loop trebles, ready to start the new one with a third. So yeah, if you carry along now to the end, and just remember, once you get to the end, you'll have 2 stitches left, and they are going to be your standard double crochets through both loops. Okay, so I will see you at the start of row 4. Okay, so here we are at the end of row 3, and what we're going to do with row 4 is switch back to our main colour, and we're basically just put my slip knot on the hook, and we're going to basically be framing these little groups of 3 trebles there. So we're going to start with the 2 standard edge stitches through both loops, and then we have a back loop double crochet before we actually start the main repeat, and then another one at the start of the repeat, and now it's a simple front loop treble there, and then 7 back loop double crochets. So 1, 2, 3. So remember, they're all into the back loop only. 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we've got front loop treble there. 3 back loop double crochets. So 2 of those, these 2 there at the end of our first repeat, and then we start the new one with the third one, and then we're off again with 1 treble, 7 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, dearie me, and 1 treble there, 2 rows down, and then we finish off the repeat with 2 back loop double crochets. So we're ready to start again with another back loop double crochet. So carry along like that, and when you get to the last 2 stitches, obviously remember they are just standard double crochets through both loops. Okay, so here we are at the end of row 4. You'll notice I've actually picked up some stitch markers again now, because we've up until now we've only been doing a 12 stitch repeat along this pattern, but it's actually now switching to 24. So just to help you keep a little track of where you are, going to just start popping a marker into the last stitch of the repeat, just so you can say keep a track of it. It's reasonably obvious when we're only doing the little narrow runner like I'm doing, but obviously if you're doing a large blanket it can be a little bit trickier. So right, I've already now joined my CC1 colour and done the first 2 edge stitches. So now got, just before we start the main repeat, we've got that little extra back loop double crochet there. That's just basically to even up the pattern, to make this end the same as the other end. Okay, so we're starting the main repeat with 2 more back loop double crochets, 1, 2. Okay, so now we have got 1 front loop treble, 1 back loop double crochet, and then another front loop treble. So we've created a little sort of box there. Okay, now we've got 3 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and another front loop treble. Now we've got 1 back loop double crochet here. So I think I said in part 1, basically if you see a treble on the previous row, you know it's going to have to be a back loop double crochet, because you can't work a treble, there's no front loop there to work into. So that one's easy, and we now have 3 front loop trebles. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 1 back loop double crochet, 1 front loop treble, 3 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, 3, front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble. Then what we've got here, rather than what we did here, which was 1 back loop double crochet and 3 front loop trebles, were actually on this one, it's now going to be, we end the repeat with 1, 2, 3 back loop double crochets. Okay, so that is now the end of our first repeat. So as I said, I'm just gonna pop a little marker in there so we know that. So now we start the next repeat again as we did before, with 1, 2 back loop trebles, then we've got back loop double crochets, 1 front loop treble, 1 back loop double, 1 front loop treble, then we've got 3 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, 1 front loop treble, 1 double, and now 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3, back loop double crochet, front loop treble, 3 back, so 1, 2, 3 double crochets into that back loops, a front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble, and finish up with our 3 back loop double crochets. And for me, because I'm only doing the runner, that has taken me right to the end of my row, where I'm as usual going to end up with 2 standard double crochets through both loops. Okay, so there we are. What you should hopefully be able to see is we've actually got, there's like a sort of a mirror image. So these little things here mirror against there, and it also mirrors against this one. Like I say, if you keep a little track of where you are at the end of your repeat, that might help you to follow the pattern a little bit easier. Okay, so now ready to start row 6. So I've already just joined my main colour and done those first 2 edge stitches. So we start this repeat before this main repeat starts with a back loop double crochet, and we actually start the main repeat with 5 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back loop double crochets. Then we've got 1 front loop treble, 1 back loop double, 1 front loop treble, so, and then 1 back loop double. So there we go. Now we've got a front loop treble, 3 back loop doubles. We don't have a choice when we see a treble on the previous row, we have to do a double crochet above it. Then we've got front loop treble, back loop double, and do that twice. Front loop treble, back loop double, and a front loop treble. Now we're going to end the repeat with 6 back loop double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th one is going to be into our marked stitch there. And like I say, to try, if you find them helpful, the markers helpful to keep a track, then just take that out of there and move it up to the stitch you've just done. Oops. Okay, so that's our first repeat. So our first repeat is ended with 6 back loop double crochets, and the next one is going to start with 5 more. So there will be 11, a run now of 11 back loop double crochets. So 1, oh, I should say 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's the 5 that started our second repeat. Then we've got front loop treble, back loop double, do that twice. So front loop treble, back loop double, and another front loop treble, 3 back loop doubles, 1, 2, 3. Now we're mirroring this little bit, so it's a front loop treble, back loop double, do that twice, and then 1 more front loop treble, and then we finish our repeat with 6 back loop double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and as always when we get to the end we've got 2 standard double crochets through both loops. There's our final edge stitches. Cut it off, pull the end through the loop. Okay, so that is row 6. Okay, so back to start row 7. I've actually just started with the 2 edge stitches and the first back loop double crochet before the main repeat starts. So this is actually quite a nice little easy one, really. We've shortened the repeat to actually 6 stitches just for this row. So we're now going to start it with 2 back loop double crochets, then 1 front loop treble, and 3 back loop double crochets. So that is what we're going to be repeating across. So 2 back loop double crochets, so that gives us a total of 5 back loop double crochets, and then 1 front loop treble. So end that next repeat with 1, 2, whoops, 3 back loop double crochet, start the next one with 2 more. 2, 1 front loop treble, and then your back loop doubles. So just carry on along the row like so. You may still want to keep your moving your marker up, just because it's going to get a longer repeat again very soon. Okay, just a little reminder at the end of row 7 that you should end with your 3 back loop double crochets and then your 2 edge stitches through both loops. Cut it off, pull it through the loop. Okay, so I've just got started on row 8 with my 2 edge stitches and the back loop double crochet before the main repeat. Okay, so we now start, we've got quite a few of the square brackets, or 2 sets of the square brackets here, so that it's actually easier than it looks. So we now start the repeat with 1 back loop double crochet and 1 front, and we've got to do that 3 times. So that's 2 back loop double crochets, 2 front, and then 1, 2. So now we've got a run of 11 back loop double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, and now we've got 1 front loop treble, 1 back loop double, and we've got to do that twice. So front, back, and then 1 more front loop treble, and we finish our repeat with 2 back loop double crochets. Ooh, don't put it through your stitch marker. Okay, so that's the end of our first repeat. I'm just going to pop that in there. Keep a track of where we are. So we're starting the repeat again with 1 back loop double crochet, 1 front loop treble 3 times. So that's 2, and that's 3. Okay, so then you'll just carry on with 11 back loop double crochets, and then your little alternating between a front loop treble, back loop double, so you get those 3 trebles there, and then just carry along to the end. So yeah, carry on with that repeat, and I will see you to do row 9. So this is what the pattern looks like at the end of row 8, and just so you can double check, at the end you should have finished with 2 back loop double crochets and then your standard double crochets in those last 2 stitches as usual. So there we go. Okay, I've just now got started on row 9. So switch back to CC1 again, done the 2 edge stitches, and then there's this time there's a front loop treble before we start the main repeat. So now at the start of the main repeat we've got another front loop treble 2 rows down, then 1 back, 1 front, so back loop double, front loop treble there, 3 back loop double crochets, front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble. So you have a little look. After we've done that, I'll just all fingers and thumbs. So you can see we've got like a little square pattern here. So you've got like a figure of 8 in your main colour, and then there's a little square in your contrast colour in each corner of that square. Okay, so now we have got 5 back loop double crochets over here, 3, 4, 5. We're now basically going to mirror what we did here. So we've got front loop double crochet, front loop treble, back loop double crochet, front loop treble, 3 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and front loop treble. Then we've got a back loop double crochet, and to finish the repeat we have got 2 front loop trebles 2 rows down. Okay, so what I'm now going to do, take my little stitch marker out there, move that up. If you don't need them, then that's fine, they're not essential, but sometimes they can just, like I say, be useful to keep track of where you are. So we now know we're starting the repeat again. So we've got front loop treble, we're sort of going to be mirroring this bit now. So we've got a back loop double crochet, front loop treble, 3 back loop doubles, 1 front loop treble, double crochet, another treble, and then we've got 5 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, treble, double, treble, 3 back loop doubles. So yeah, I don't always say back loop, but all within the row, you know this by now, they're always going to be into that back loop only. The double crochets and the trebles will always be into the front loops. So just end that repeat with 1 back loop double crochet and then 2 front loop trebles. So if you're at the end of the row now like me, great. If not, carry on, and obviously when you do get to the end, you've just got your 2 standard double crochets. So there is row 9. So as usual, I've just started off row 10 here using my main colour with the 2 edge stitches and this little extra back loop double crochet before the main repeat starts. So we now start, this is a relatively straightforward little repeat again, so we now start with a back loop double crochet, front loop treble, and now 7 back loop double crochets. So what we're doing, we're going over the top of this little box I mentioned before, all with back loop double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now we have 1 front loop treble, 2 back loop doubles. So that is what we're going to be repeating along. Okay, so we started there. It's just a little 12 stitch repeat this time. So we start again, back loop double, oh damn, what is wrong with me today? Back loop double crochet, front loop treble, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 back loop double crochets, 1 front loop treble, and we finish that repeat as before with 1, okay, here, take that out to do it because I was fiddly there. So we now finish that with our second back loop double crochet, and I'm going to pop that back in again. Okay, so just carry along the row like so, and as usual when you get to the end, remember that the final 2 stitches are just going to be a standard double crochet through both loops. 12. So I've started again with the 2 edge stitches and a front loop treble before the main repeat starts. So we now start our main repeat at row 11 with a front loop treble, and now I've got 5 back loop double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 front loop treble, 3 back loop doubles, 1, 2, 3, then we've got front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble, then 3 back loop doubles, 1 front loop treble, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back loop double crochets, and we're going to end with 2 front loop trebles. Okay, take my little marker out. I'm actually not going to bother with the markers anymore, but if they're helping you, then please carry on just putting them at the end of each repeat. Okay, so that is our first repeat of row 11. So just carry along the row, and again when you get to the end, remember the last 2 stitches are your edge stitches, so they're standard double crochets. So after row 12 you should be looking at something that looks a bit like this, well, hopefully exactly like that, just in different colours maybe. Okay, so row 13 I've already got started as usual with the edge stitches and that little extra front loop treble that goes before the main repeat. So when I'm going to start actually sort of, you can just see the beginnings of the 2 types of crosses here, so they should be a little bit clearer after we've done the next couple of rows. So our repeat starts with 5 front loop trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then we have 1 back loop double crochet, 1 front loop treble, and we're going to do that twice. So there's another back loop double crochet and another front loop treble, and now we've got 5 back loop double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1 front loop treble, 1 back loop double. We're going to do that twice. So front loop treble crochet, back loop double, and then we end our repeat with 6 front loop trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you're still using a marker, that will be the mark stitch, that last one. So you can see we're now like halfway through doing this cross, filling it in. So we're going to start the next repeat with 5 more front loop trebles, just like we did here. Repeat that all the way across until you get to the end, and you'll do your standard double crochets in the end. This is what it looks like after row 14. So it's all starting to take shape here. We're almost halfway through part 3 now. So I've just started as usual with the 2 edge stitches and that first stitch before the main repeat starts. And I'm now going to start the main repeat with a front loop treble. We've now got 5 back loop double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then front loop treble, 3 back loop double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, then front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble, 3 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 front loop treble, and we're gonna we've now got 5 back loop double crochets, not quite at the end yet, 5 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we finish our repeat with 2 more front loop double crochets. So that's the first repeat done. So there we go. Really start to see the crosses now taking shape. Almost got that. So when you've finished row 16, it should look like this. So we've now completed our smaller cross here, and we're now just going to add the last little bit on that top point of the bigger crosses. So I've done the little stitches before the main repeat now on row 17. So the repeat starts with the front loop treble 2 down. So then we've got 1 back loop double crochet, 1 front loop treble, then we've got 3 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, a treble, double, treble, and then 5 back loop double crochets, 3, 4, 5, front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble, and 3 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, 1 front loop treble, 1 back loop double, and we finish this first repeat with 2 front loop trebles. Okay, so there we go. So repeat that across row 17, and you should actually be okay now, I think, to just carry on with part 3 following either the chart or the written instructions, or a combination of both, whichever. So I will just come back every couple of rows and just show you just a little photo of what your work should be looking like at that point. But basically, yeah, there is a pattern all set nicely now for part 3.